Guys,
Race wasn't great. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
guys, welcome back to the Grease and Oil podcast. This podcast is
Welcome back to the Great and Race podcast.
This podcast is brought to you. Anyways, guys, how's it going? How you guys doing?
That was good. I haven't heard the good job.
How you guys doing? It's
I like how you ask this as if you're like about to receive a response, like we have a studio audience or something.
Hey man, I like talking to the people in the comment section because they watch our stuff. So
And they post dumb things. So yeah.
Yes, they do. Like they post some good memes on Twitter. But before we get to do you want to do the tweets first, or do you want to do the ultimate edition? Do you want me to do my rant?
Okay, so as usual, we're going to open up this lovely episode of the Great and Race podcast with a monologue by our one and only resident monologue philosopher, Matthew Zodic. So go ahead, Mr. Moops.
Hi guys. So you guys who watch this podcast know that I'm not the biggest fan of Batman vs Superman. Far from it. I really didn't like it. So I decided recently to watch the Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition, which they released, which supposedly makes the movie much better. So I watched...
on Amazon or something?
Huh?
Is it like on Amazon?
No, one of my friends bought the Blu-ray, and I just stole it from him for like a day, and then I gave it back. And so I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is still pretty bad. So, yeah, it doesn't really... I mean, it does some things, like it clarifies the movie, but it makes a confusing movie slightly less confusing. It's like saying the time I took a regular shit is better than the time I had diarrhea. So...
Blood farts.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. So
I wasn't like relating that to anything you just said. I just felt like saying blood farts.
Okay, good. Sometimes we gotta get the blood farts.
Sometimes you just gotta get the blood farts out.
We gotta get them out of our system. Okay.
All the Paul Blart Mall cops out.
We should review that on the podcast sometime.
I wanna watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 3 live.
On ice.
The musical experience concert tour.
Okay, so, but yeah, the Ultimate Edition didn't make the movie any better. Batman and Superman are both still raging assholes. And the Martha bit is...
I think your asshole will be raging after a blood fart.
Guys, this episode is sponsored by Blood Farts.
Blood farts, you get cracking.
Blood Farts. Oops.
Blood farts, it's not my time of the month, I swear.
Blood farts, they make your asshole rage.
Blood farts, little engines can do big blood farts.
Blood farts, I'm full of surprises.
Blood farts, you can only be you, there's nothing else you can possibly do.
Sodar's Legend of the Lost Blood Farts.
Thomas and the Magic Blood Farts.
I was just gonna go there. Okay, we can't keep talking about
Calling all blood farts, the great blood fart.
Welcome,
blood farts, king of the blood farts, tail of the blood farts, day of the blood farts.
Welcome, blood farts.
Good blood farts.
Okay. Anyways, the Martha bit of Batman vs Superman is stupider than I remember. It's still really dumb. I just boggles my mind how they stop fighting when Superman says, "Hey, my mom has the same name as yours." And Batman's like, "Oh, cool, we're best buds now." And
it's funny because like most people that I've heard reviewing the movie say like, "Oh yeah," they're just like, "Oh no, we're best buds now." It's like sort of an exaggeration, but like I rewatched the normal theatrical version. It was on demand like a week ago, a little less than a week ago, and there were 3 moments I was taken completely out of it. First one was when he has like his third dream. At that point, it was like, Bruce, stop dreaming. And if you continue dreaming, we don't need to see all of his dreams.
Is that the one with the Flash in it?
There was I forget. Wait, no, there's the opening scene.
Yes.
There was the one with Flash, and there was the one with the
bad
flying things. I forget.
Yeah.
What
the parademons.
Parademons. And there's like a fourth one, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the one where he goes to his mother's grave and the bat bursts out of it.
Yeah. There's so many like just cop-out dreams. And then
I want to talk about the Martha bit for a second because I realized something upon rewatching this movie. Batman's origin story is fundamentally changed in this movie because, as you can see at the beginning of the movie, when Joe Chill is holding Bruce Wayne and his parents at gunpoint, Thomas Wayne, reaches out to try and engage Joe Chill, and Joe Chill shoots him. You could argue in self-defense. Now, in the comics and every other form of media, Joe Chill has just shot them to be an asshole. But here, he shoots him because Thomas Wayne's, reaching out to get him. And that fundamentally changes Batman's origin. That was Thomas Wayne's fault. I mean, sure, Joe Chill was holding them at gunpoint, so he's an asshole, but he wouldn't have shot them, probably, if Thomas Wayne hadn't reached out to grab him. And that's something else I've noticed with the rest of this movie. Man, Thomas Wayne can't be a pussy, dude. He can't let his family die, because that's just a pussy-pansy thing to do. Same thing with Batman and Superman. They gotta go after those nerds, dude. That's what Batman and Superman have always been. Big, sweaty dudes in skin-tight costumes beating up fucking nerds. Yeah, dude. Zack Snyder. Yeah. He's great, manly movie. Yeah, we can't have Thomas Wayne letting his family die, because that's for pussies.
Mm-hmm.
So
what you said, but more so, yeah.
It just, I was triggered by it.
One more thing that I noticed upon a second viewing. First time I watched it, I felt that they balanced Batman and Superman pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, no, it was Man of Steel 2 featuring Batman and 3 scenes with Alfred.
Which is funny because Superman has very few amount of lines in this movie, actually.
He doesn't say a whole lot.
Spider-Man and Captain America Civil War has more lines than Superman does in Man of Steel 2, Batman vs. Superman.
Someone has counted?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. That's just disappointing.
Getting real hard to defend the movie.
Okay, so basically, what we're saying is Man of Steel 2 didn't get any better. We're hoping Man of Steel 3 will be better. All right, you know what time it is now, Matt.
It is... Which, of course, is Norwegian for tweet time.
Yeah. Huh?
It's tweet time, guys. We didn't do this one last week because we forgot because we were too excited to talk about Suicide Squad. So we have a lot of tweets to read. All right, so let's start going through them. So our first tweet comes from Ethan at GTT1993. It says #GAOP. Have you ever done an autopsy on a bus?
I have, and all he did was blood fart the entire time, but it was Birdie, so the red just sort of was the exact same color of his paint, so it wasn't actually as gross as you might expect it to be.
It's just a little too much information. All right, the next one is from @TheRobbieKing, whose username is Drew Lives Matter. On the next episode of Grease and Oil, a new special guest reports some news, and it's our profile picture, but with Keemstar's face over both of our heads.
Oh, I think I've seen that, actually.
Our next one's from TTNP Studio. When I wait for the next TCC video, what do? Watch the Grease and Oil podcast, like an appetizer to the main course.
Which is more quality entertainment, I'll tell you. Only because I'm featured in both of them, I can tell you firsthand that the Grease and Oil podcast is not only bloodier, but fartier. Can you imagine?
The Grease and Oil podcast, 200% more blood farts.
Then
that should be our official channel slogan.
Put that on the channel art.
I might actually have to do that. Should I actually do that?
Oh no, I'm freaking kidding, man. That's
okay.
Gross.
Okay. And so, next one from Lego Lover 117. I think we asked what was your first movie? And then Lego Lover 117 was like, aside from The Incredibles, my first movie was. And we were like,
you already read this one.
Did I?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. And we made fun of him.
Wait, no. It's a new one. He says, I don't count The Incredibles because I was dumb as a child and only paid attention to the action scenes. Fair point. Next one's from @StopMrMPS, username Upside Now.
My favorite user, by the way.
If Vinnie Shimitz is following me, why doesn't he get rid of MPS on #GAOP? That is
It takes a while, man, okay? It's gonna take a long time to get rid of this fucking rule.
I'm already in the process of leaving. I already signed half the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is from
He's being evicted as we speak.
They're moving all my stuff out of the studio right now.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck does this guy have so many Thomas the Choo Choo trains?
Why does this kid have so many Baja Blast bottles? Little do they know, my house is made out of exactly 2,567 cans of Baja Blast.
Why are there so many tissues covered in blood? What do you, like, fart or something?
Our next one's from our memer, Edward Top Hat, at eTopHat67. Grease and Oil, episode 17, which was the one where we were talking about Postman Pat when him dying.
Oh.
Matt, Postman Pat died. Vinny, I care. Kikre leaves Skype call.
Yep, that's extremely accurate.
Okay, this is apparently a quote that you've said before, and it says, I had a nightmare about a giant Sir Handel which chased me across the Great Wall of China.
I have said that on multiple occasions to multiple people.
And it's a picture of Sir Handel on the Great Wall of China with a picture of you on the side, like, doing the weed smoking, like...
That's me.
Like, thing with your fingers. It's pretty...
I smoke all the weeds.
Next one's also from our memer. Our third one in a row from our memer. Grease, parentheses, and oil, podcast. I'm on DVD right now. And it's a picture of the Grease, like, DVD cover.
Yeah, I've seen it.
With my head on John Travolta's and Vinny's head.
I think I retweeted it.
It's pretty, I like it. And Diesel Engine Fan, this is like a screenshot of his Skype messages. It's with Duncan. It says, Duncan says, or no, Express Route says, we do ski trips. Duncan says, I get to touch Pokemon. Express Route says, I get to touch other things, if you know what I mean. Duncan says, I get to smash. First of all, if you have to tell someone that you get to smash, you're not smashing. And then Express Route says, I get to stay not roasted by the GAOP. Boy, with your...
Boy, Matt just roasted you before you even said we were gonna roast you. So you got roasted, motherfucker.
Frickin' Express Coach looking ass. Frickin' never talked to you in my life before looking ass.
Fucking blood fart. He probably
fucking
blood farts in his sleep.
Blood fart looking ass. Fucking Vodafone.
When he was born, there was an excessive amount of blood, like more so than usual. Like, oh, this guy's a blood fart. You know what I'm saying? This guy's a blooder. This guy's a. That's when I think this guy and Paul Blart had a very similar birth process.
Is a blart what you get if you just say blood fart 5 times fast?
No, it's kind of like a tumor. But like if you pop it, it just like comes out like a blood fart.
Oh my god. All right, and the next one is from Rick, our memer, and it says, "What Fridays are like for the TWRC?" And it's a picture from one of our reviews of Ted like screaming at the air with his TV on, and it shows our podcast on his TV.
You know, I find that extremely offensive and extremely incorrect because like 5 people listen to our podcast.
It's true for the rest of the community, though. Lego Lover 117 says, change of scenery for the next one. Listening in Spanish class and on the drive home from school instead of cutting the grass. Hope you don't blood fart in the car.
I hope you do and you drown because you can't open the windows in time.
It's like those fucking commercials where the cop pulls the guy over and he rolls down his window when the beer comes out. Only when he rolls down his window, fucking blood comes out. Oh my god,
I swear I haven't been drinking, officer. That's good, because that's fucking cannibalism, you freak.
It's so gross. Our next one comes from Sergeant Pig 21 at Pig Studios. Yo, boys, I'm gonna make something special for podcast 21. So, I'm scared.
The oldest joke from 7th grade in the world.
21? Are we even close to 21? Okay, we're at 18 right, or this is our 19th one. So, okay, let's see. We've been recording for like 15 minutes now. Can we talk about the topic? That's the title. We're like 3 tweets away from.
Okay, fine.
Okay. The next one's from Jack Calloway at Jack_Calloway WR. Somebody please Photoshop Jesse Eisenberg when he played Lex Luthor shoving a king-size Hershey bar into someone's mouth. Like the frick. I think we made that joke in the Batman v Superman episode. Wow, he actually listened to the Batman v Superman episode. I'm shocked. At Tank Engine Twins, I think you're going to like this one, Vinny. Us hashtag GAOP fans already knew about the death of Taken Play. So, Dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
we enlightened people.
You called it, dude.
I enlightened people because I met that one lady.
You called it.
It was on the way out. I mean, like, freaking, it's pretty obvious.
Next one's from at RevoEngine85. Before I go to bed, can someone tell me what the fuck hashtag GAOP means?
It's Great assholes of blood, but with a P. Of blood. Great
It's
assholes.
silent
of
silent
blood.
P at the beginning.
No, great. No, you have to. It's wait. I'll take off the pop filter. Great assholes of blood.
Oh, gross. And the last one comes from at EJ Rutin, and he says the TWRC old folks home is going to be outside of an abandoned day out with Thomas. I hope so, dude. That'd be lit.
I am going to a day out with Thomas in like 2 months, and we're gonna film so much shit there.
Who's we? Ooh, are you meeting with someone there? Ooh.
Oh, you don't know. You know me.
You're gonna meet up with somebody.
I am gonna meet up with someone there. Yes, and you will, viewers of the future will. People listening back after many years after the war has broken out and the only entertainment you can find is this humble podcast, you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
He's meeting up with Rob, guys.
I'm not. No, Rob doesn't even fucking live in California.
That's what he wants you to think. All right, anyways, let's talk about the thing that we're supposed to be talking about in this episode, the not-so-great race.
20 minutes of opening. Anyone who actually clicked on this because of the thumbnail who doesn't, like, traditionally listen to our videos will be very confused and immediately turned off by that, but I'm usually pretty good at, and Matt, we're both pretty good at turning people off.
Especially me.
Especially
I'm a professional at it.
Arts all the time.
Guys, let's talk about the not-so-great race. See what it did
Why
there?
Why do you think Matt has red bed sheets?
Oh, that's disgusting. My bed sheets aren't even red. They're blue.
No, like, never mind.
I do have a red lamp, though.
That's like projectile blurring.
It's my specialty.
You have to try.
Guys,
Like,
can someone calculate...
Is that an Olympic sport? If you take of projectile blarding, can you like get out of your high school PE class? Is that college credits?
Can someone calculate in the comments below how many minutes we spent of this episode talking about blood farts?
Please do. If someone calculated how many fucking lines Spider-Man had in Civil War, you can do this.
Yes. All right, guys, let's talk about the Great Race. All right, Vinny, what'd you think of it?
The Great Race is a race which was good. It was not great, I would say. And there's a lot of things this movie does that are a lot different than any, like, for example, the fact this movie's a musical. I mean, like they said in the trailers, but it's a full-on, it's a musical with the whole, it's not like a previous Thomas specials that had like 2 or 3 musical numbers, but it was just like, like Calling All Engines has like 2 or 3 songs in it, but it's just like a Thomas music video that happens to sort of tie in with the plot. This is engines singing about what's going on in the plot, and it's not half bad.
So basically what you're saying is it was fine, wasn't great, it wasn't horrible.
This film, that's the thing I'm finding, is that, like, Season 17, pretty good.
Didn't watch it.
Season 17 and King of the Railway.
Watched
pretty good.
that.
Season 18 and Tale of the Brave. It's like, oh wow, this is better. So we kept expecting, next year's going to be even greater. Because I love, Season 18 is a freaking amazing special. Season and special. Season 19.
Didn't watch it.
It was experimental, and there were a lot of great moments, but overall, it definitely dipped in writing quality. Animation got fucking great, but the writing quality went down a little bit. There were good moments. The thing that I find interesting here is that, like the season went down, but the special for Season 19 went up, because last year's special was Legend of the Lost Treasure.
Best Thomas movie by far.
Good. It was so good. So you're expecting, okay, if the movies are on this perpetual, growth, then, the one after Legend of the Lost Treasure has to be insanely good. And originally, and we know, I remember, I think first or second episode, we were talking about this. We thought it was going to be, okay, so what's better than like a really cool Thomas pirate adventure? An adaptation of a freaking Audrey story. And so Andrew Brenner's just trying to outdo himself even more here. They're doing Thomas and the Great Railway Show, and they're going to, have a bunch of, they're going to make it action-packed and all these things, all Mattel requirements, but they're going to do the Chris Audrey book of Thomas the Great Railway Show. And holy shit, did they not do the Chris Audrey book of Thomas?
I felt quite strongly about this special. I
I've
didn't
stated
like
my
it.
opinions. I want to hear what Matt has to say as someone who doesn't watch the show and only really watches the specials quite casually.
I didn't
So
like it.
proceed.
I have a laundry list of bad things and a slightly shorter list of good things. What do you want me to go for first?
Let's go with the good things first. Why
Okay.
not?
Ashima and Vinnie, both very good characterization. Ashima is a very good introductory side character. Vinnie is a very good, funny, comedic villain.
I know. Thank you.
His bullying of Philip is very funny, especially since I didn't like Philip in the movie.
I like to watch people bully children. It's a fetish of mine.
It is pretty good.
Along with Flarts.
Also, he's Nathan's son, so you know I gotta dig him.
Of course.
Most of the songs in the movie are good, especially Diesel's. And in fact, the Diesel Works scene is the best scene in the entire movie. I think
I had a really long conversation with the Unlucky Tug about this a couple weeks ago. He says that the whole Diesel plot line with all the Diesels plot line doesn't do anything, especially since they don't even get to go to the Great Railway Show.
But that's
very true.
They're filler.
It was the funniest, yeah. But
they are filler. Diesel is the villain for the first half of the movie, and Vinny is the villain for the second half of the movie, which I think works very well, because we haven't had that in the Thomas special.
They've never done something like that before. But the thing, it doesn't really affect the plot too much. However, it is the funniest, and honestly, I think it has the best, overall, the best writing of the special is in Diesel's song, and all of the scenes that are Diesel Works with Paxton Dendar.
My favorite line of the entire special is when Diesel starts singing and Paxton says, "Wait, are you singing, Diesel?" That's my favorite line of the entire special. Okay, I also, for some reason, I just really like watching all the international engines just, like, roll out of the boat onto Sodor and then just instantly come back in. It's just like, the squad's rolling out and then rolling back in. I don't know, it's just sort of fun to watch.
It was fun, but I felt like it was like, oh, they would never, like, show up and then, like, oh, wait, we're all, like, why are they all on the same boat?
Yeah, really.
Why are all of the engines in the world on the same boat?
We're still on the good part. We're still on the good part.
Okay.
Related to that, Diesel's a funny villain. He's a good villain for the first half of the movie. I really like the underwater shot when Thomas almost falls in the water. It starts in the water and then comes out of the water. That is so cool, dude.
Very good, yes.
Arc Productions animation is just fantastic for the special.
They really took advantage of the fact that it's a cartoon.
Yeah, they really
last
just
year
went
it was
all
like an
out.
action adventure. Like it could have, had they had the budget, it could have been a live action thing. They took advantage of the fact that it's a musical, and they did. Diesel has this big show tune with elephants and flashing lights that say Diesel Works, and it's great. And Thomas and Ashima's song, they cut to different things that are like not, someone's gonna be like, oh, that's not realistic. Thomas has all over the excavator's wheels. No.
Thomas is on Harold, or is on a Henry, or not Henry, what the fuck is his name? Harvey's body.
Harold Henry. You're almost there.
I mean, he is on Harold's body in a part of he does have Harold's choppers or whatever. Anyways, speaking of animation and musical numbers, I like the David Bowie reference when Thomas is in the Steamworks and he's got the lightning bolt over his face. I dug that.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
What?
You never seen that?
Nope.
Look up the lightning bolt kid. It's a very funny meme from a
Okay.
long time ago.
I like the Mrs. Is it? I'm gonna fuck this up. Is it Mrs. Kindly?
Yeah,
I like the Mrs. Kindly
I was
reference.
gonna say that is my favorite line in
Mrs. Kindly, please return to the refreshment stand.
Yeah, the refreshment lady, please return to the refreshment stand. We don't know your name, but you're a lady. So refreshment.
And
lady.
my last thing that I really liked was the end credit scene of the Diesels looking for Diesel, only to find that he's been shipped out.
That was great, and it was just like, okay, set up, payoff. There you go.
All right, time to get to the bad stuff. All right, first up is just I'm really annoyed by Philip. He's just annoying as hell this entire special, and I really enjoyed watching him get pushed around by Vinnie.
It's kind of satisfying, yeah.
Also, this is just my fucking thing. I just got annoyed by their constant referencing of their race because I haven't seen the episode, so that's on me. But I just felt like bitching about it because it's a podcast.
They only mentioned it like once though.
They mentioned it like 3 times, but still,
really?
Whatever.
Oh.
The more Philip is on screen, the more I get annoyed. Okay.
I can second that motion because I had to film so much for him. The TCC.
Rip. All right, take a shot every time Diesel says, "I'm full of surprises." You will be fucking drunk after the first, like, 20 minutes
You will
of the
be
movie.
fucking dead after 6 seconds.
Even though that is my favorite song in the movie, you will be dead after if you take a drink every time he says, "I'm full of surprises." Okay, everybody's harped about it. The bridge jump, stupid as hell. I just hate it. That is, I mean, it's a bad pun, but that is to me where Thomas jumped the shark. It sucks. I don't like it. Everybody's harped about it.
Now.
Everybody's harped on it, and it's just the fucking worst. Okay, speaking of Thomas and Gordon are retarded and stubborn in this movie. They just don't listen to anybody.
Matt, it's 2016. You can't say retarded. Say fucking retard.
Fuck that, dude. They are retarded and stubborn in this movie. Especially Gordon. Like when Flying Scotsman is trying to warn Gordon, but Gordon basically tells him to go fuck himself and then proceeds to fall apart, which is exactly what Flying Scotsman was warning him about.
It was an interesting sequence, but I felt like for Gordon bursting his boiler, I thought they could have gone a little further. Like, not like having his face, like...
Shed 17!
No, not like Shed 17, but like his whole weird streamlining apparatus could have gone BAM! But it was like, oh, it's sort of loose and there's some steam coming out of it, kinda, I guess.
Okay, speaking of Streamline Thomas and Gordon are the ugliest, most horrifying things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think
so scary.
Streamlined Thomas would look really cool in Wooden Railway. Just saying.
We've made this joke before, but they look like frickin' things of toothpaste. They
look like tubes of toothpaste, and I totally agree. I want to see... They did take-and-play models for both of them, and I've seen the take-and-play Thomas streamlined, and it looks really cool in toy form. Not on screen, but in toy form, it looks really cool. I want to see a Wooden Railway streamlined Thomas. I think that would sell really well.
I remember when we were doing the first episode and we were covering the merchandising, we were like, oh, Streamline Gordon, he's ugly, but luckily he's just going to be in a dream sequence, right? Right. And then he wasn't. So,
he was like that for the majority of the fucking movie.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. Okay.
Although, for the record, I don't think there is a correct way to streamline Gordon and not have him look like a blue raspberry dildo.
That is a good description as to what he looked like.
I sent you the lightning bolt video. You should watch it.
Thank you. I will after this.
Ringo, what do you fucking want? Come here.
Special guest Ringo the cat.
Ringo, come here. Wait, hold up. Ringo. Come here.
Hey guys, this is our special guest Ringo the cat. This is our special guest.
Ringo, what's easier? Ringo, what's your opinion on the homosexual, aka the gay race? Really?
Yeah, Ringo, what'd you think about the streamlined engines?
Wait, Ringo, wait. He has a special opinion for that.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. I see. I was thinking the same thing, but just with less swearing.
All right, man. Is that all? Oh, you're pulling my leg here. All right, fine. I'll let you out.
Bye, Ringo. That was our special guest, Ringo the cat. Give it up for Ringo, everybody. It's just me? Okay, no one else likes Ringo. Cool. Vince, are you still here? Well, guys, welcome back to the Just Matt show. Well, Vince apparently died.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, another complaint. The tracks that just randomly went off the rails at the docks. I mean, everybody's complained about that too, but I thought it was stupid.
I don't really have a complaint about that because there's no other way they could have done that other than unloading every single engine individually by crane.
Plus, I suppose it did give us that cool underwater shot. So
that is true. Yes, there's a pro there.
It's time to get on to story complaints. It took way too long to get to the Great Railway Show. It took way too long. Thomas and his friends fucking around in Sodor, and then they go to the Great Railway Show for like 15 minutes, and then they're back again, and the movie's over. Like, why?
Okay, I'm questioning how they would have been able to set it up in less time then. What's your,
They could have cut out Thomas and Ashima just fucking around on Sodor, and then had like.
Don't make me have flashbacks to that picture that.
Oh my god. Yup. Okay, we're not gonna talk about that. Oh, lordy in heaven. Okay. I don't understand why this movie was called The Great Race. The movie could have been called The Great Railway Show. I mean, the race is an event at the railway show, but so is the fucking pulling the trucks and the shunting and shit
Yeah,
like
that's the
that.
thing I find interesting is the fact that the Great Race is not only a race, or is not even a. It's one thing, and it's not even an event that the main character Thomas competes in.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
ugly ass
if your
streamlined
title if
Gordon.
you were making the Gordon movie, you would call it the Great Race. But it's not. Thomas is the main character, and then you have sort of Gordon and Ashima as like his sidekicks, and you got like Percy and Philip and Emily, all that stuff.
Yeah, so this movie should have been called The Great Railway Show or something like that. I don't know, unless that was already
I
copyrighted.
really love the line where freaking Philip sort of mimics the announcer, and Percy's like, "How do you get your voice to do that?"
That was my second favorite line. I really
that
liked
was
that.
really funny.
Yeah. My favorite line, actually, my favorite line was Vinnie, out of my way, shrimp. I don't know. I can't do the.
You are such a stereotypical basic bitch.
I know I am.
But okay.
Let's get Nathan on here to get him to do that impression of his son.
All right, let's stick to the Nathan and not what I thought you were gonna say.
Oof. What were you thinking? I was gonna say, let's get Nathan on here to blood fart.
No, let's get naked and blood.
I mean, I already am right now.
I never specified what I'm wearing.
You
so
just have to look next to me. I mean, we're in the same studio recording
MPS,
this, right?
What are you wearing right now? Khakis.
Oh, man. All right, next up. The international engines are pointless. Flying Scotsman is overhyped. Young Bao had a very interesting background. He got fucking wasted. You heard about his background, right? Young Bao's background was that he diverted a train and saved like a shit ton of passengers. And they just glossed over that. He doesn't even talk in the damn movie. Ashima and Vinnie are the only ones with roles. For God's sake, Frida's only purpose in the movie, her only purpose.
I'm not Gordon.
Yeah, her only purpose was to be confused by Thomas for
And
Gordon.
That's it. She's the one that gets a wooden railway model. That's what I find interesting. There's a wooden railway Ashima. There's a wooden railway Vinnie. Those are two characters they would need to make toys of because they actually like do things in the movie. Frida and Gina. Really? You spent money on this. Is like making this. They do slightly more than the background red diesel.
No, you know who we should have had a model of? We should have had a model of Etienne, or however you say his fucking name.
That would have been really cool
because he beat Gordon and Flying Scotsman in the race.
He didn't just beat them. He set a world record. He literally changed the world record, and it's like, oh, maybe.
And yet he's relegated to what, Trackmaster?
Maybe that's why it's called The Great Race. Because the movie is really about the story of the struggle that Etienne has, and the
struggle of me watching this movie without turning it off. That is my struggle.
Yeah.
Etienne has no merchandise. Are you kidding me?
I feel like it would be, from a merchandising standpoint, it'd be difficult because of his overhead wire things.
Literally make him into the shape of Daisy and then paint them on his roof.
Never mind. There you go. You did it. Actually, no, you didn't do it. Twillman did it. Who is also going off to college. Can we just appreciate the fact that Twillman is a fallen star, and we'll never. He's still in the your blood farts.
He's still in the community.
Shh, don't ruin the moment.
I'm sorry. Are we whispering right now? Are we in a library right now? Is that where we're whispering?
Silence for our fallen star.
In the eyes
of the blood farts.
Thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it. All right, let's. God, can we also appreciate for a second the guy who voiced Etienne's name? This motherfucker's name is Rob Rackstraw.
Yeah,
that's a pretty great name.
I think.
Oh my God, dude! He voices Stanley in the 19th season. Whoa, dude!
That's what I was gonna say. And you said it before me. So.
This dude is officially the best voice actor in the entire series.
I think I feel like it's not going to be too far-fetched of a guess to say that Keith Wickham voices him in the UK, because Keith Wickham voices literally everyone in the fucking cast in the UK.
No, he voices Stanley in both the U.S. and the U.K. Wait, psych. Hold on. He only voiced Stanley in the 19th season of the U.K. Hold on. Let's find out who his current version is.
UK
Oh
or the
no,
US?
no, it's Matt Wilkinson,
Oh, that's the other guy. Okay, sure.
the other guy. He's the other guy who voices everybody in the UK.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw a meme on Twitter. I think it was by Oliver GWR, and it was like the song is like, "Please, sir, I beg you, I just have to know. Will you welcome Stanley to the railway show?" I really love that.
That was good job, Oliver. Good job.
Good work. That guy is on top of his memes. I think he's the guy that made the. It's either him or it's Jacob that made the "Welcome to Stanley Park" meme. Both of those are real good.
I thought Rob made the "Welcome to Stanley Park" meme.
The original picture. The
original
picture.
I don't remember.
Okay. Anyways, back to the Flying Scotsman was so overhyped, dude.
I feel
like he's in all the merchandising, all the posters and stuff like that. He's in the movie for like 10 minutes at most and says like 5 lines. He's like the Joker in Suicide Squad, dude.
Yeah, and he's like the only piece of Trackmaster merchandise they made from this movie other than the fucking ridiculous set.
Yeah, that set was real dumb.
Like they didn't even make. There's no Trackmaster Ashima. That they're never gonna make a Trackmaster Ashima. That's like not making Trackmaster like Lady or Hero or Luke or Gator or any of the other side characters.
Holy shit! There actually is a Stanley Park, dude.
I know.
Yo, who wants to go visit Stanley? Dude, Thomas Wooden Railway Community Stanley Park meetup.
There's no Thomas Wooden Railway Community.
Fine, Thomas Community Stanley Park meetup.
There you go.
Who wants to do that?
I have a strong urge to say no because I will just be signing too many autographs.
It's in Vancouver, dude.
I will. Ooh. Wait.
We can meet up with Rob and Eric and Ted. Wait, no,
wait,
he's gone.
Vancouver is like the opposite side of Canada from Rob.
Who cares? It's Canada. They're all the same, right?
Yeah, all Canadians are like Canadian bacon. It's just like you think it's gonna be really cool because it has the word bacon in the title. And it's like, oh.
Okay, that's actually so true though.
It's like, ooh, Eric, he makes Thomas videos. Ooh, Rob, he makes Wooden Railway reviews. He's just.
Did you ever see the iCarly episode where Spencer falls asleep on a bus and he goes all the way to Canada?
All the way to Canada.
And he gets Canadian bacon. And they're like, "What is it like?" And he's like, "It's like ham."
Sliced ham.
Oh my god, dude. I always remember that iCarly episode because I wanted to eat Canadian bacon real bad before that episode, and I just got disappointed when I saw it. I was like, "Oh, it's ham? Really? Oh, damn."
I think that was like the big throwaway line. Like it went to the intro after. It's just sliced ham. And also that show takes place in Seattle, so it's not like far-fetched. You went all the way to Canada? It's like, yeah, no, that's like something. Oh yeah, you went all the way to Walmart? Yeah, it's like over there. It's not far.
Yes, because everywhere in Washington State is just right by Canada.
South, north, east, west.
Southwest.
Yeah. Joss Whedon.
Man, I love Joss Whedon. Except for Avengers: Age of Ultron, that movie was kind of not too good.
I liked it. So
I liked it, but it wasn't like up to standards.
All right, let's talk about the Great Race.
The Great Race. Anyways, the Flying Scotsman was
race time.
The Flying Scotsman was really overhyped. Although I did like his scene where I think he said something like, "Good luck to you too, brother," and then his smoke deflectors clicked into place.
I think there's a better. Okay, once again, much like Suicide Squad, Batman vs Superman, there's a better version of this movie that could have been made. Think about if they did a similar thing to Hero of the Rails, except instead of Spencer coming down, they did Flying Scotsman. And it's like, why are you here? Oh, I'm preparing for the Great Railway Show, blah, blah, blah. And that's how Thomas is introduced to him. So he's not like just some random face and you don't see him until you show up at the Great Railway Show. He's there, and instead of Gordon, Gordon has to get signed, obviously, but the film is like the three main characters, most likely, most arguably, but pretty much, are Thomas, Gordon, and Ashima. And it could have been Thomas, Ashima, and Flying Scotsman if they sort of just gave that Gordon role to Flying Scotsman, because like Scotsman could have come to Soda because, oh, your Steamworks is the best the best workshop in all of the land, all of England, or whatever however
In
they say.
all of the land.
Well, I mean, because they can't say England, because I don't know why they can't say England, but they
Right.
don't say England, for whatever reason. And basically, like, that whole your safety valve, you're gonna burst or whatever, like that role could have been given to Flying Scotsman, because let's face it, I think we've had enough Gordon content over the 30 years.
More than enough Gordon content.
We've had more than a few Gordon episodes. He's not fucking Derek. He's not Dennis or Molly or Mighty Mac. We've had
Or
quite
Stanley.
we've had quite a few Gordon trips. So I think we could shift the focus over to Flying Scotsman, who more likely than not will not appear again.
I really hope he does.
Because, no, think about it. He's just another one of the international engines, and we're not going to see Ashima. Well, we might see Ashima. Ashima is probably the only character that we might see again, because they'll probably pull a missing gator and, like, have a flashback episode, and like, oh, well, Ashima was doing this when the Great Railway Show was happening, and oh, blah, blah, blah. They'll probably do the same thing in Season 20, which will result in a mediocre episode. But what I'm trying to say is, Flying Scotsman could have been Gordon's role, and we could have gotten a lot more, and actually have him justified for having a Trackmaster release, which, other than the cum splats, looks pretty good.
God, you brought up Derek, and that just sent me Thomas Wikiing hit Derek again, and I just got real confused about his appearance in Calling All Engines. Like, he appears for like half a second in a song, and then he's
you
just
don't
gone
even
again.
see his face.
You see his back. Like, what the hell?
No, see, that's the thing, is that after Magic Railroad and before Season 6, they had all of the original models from Seasons, like, 4 and 5 restored, which is why Diesel appears, and it's also why Derek has that model, and Daisy has that model to appear in Calling All Engines, because they were restored and they just weren't used in any episodes.
Did they maybe just not, like, expect fans to recognize him? Like, oh, we'll just say it's a random Diesel. We'll be good.
Dude, it was 2005. All of the older Thomas fans were, like, 6 at that point.
Oh, you're right. That's
including
true.
Well, no, you were what, 7, 6?
I know I was 5, dude. In 2005.
I thought you were born in 99.
Yeah, I was November 24th.
Oh well.
I was born real late.
Okay, man.
Damn, Calling All Engines was released in 2005. Holy shit, dude!
Calling All Engines was also released before. Oh,
I remember the day that movie came out, dude. What the fuck?
Wait, you do?
Yeah, I remember, and I'm begging my grandparents to go buy the fucking movie for me.
How do you...
also, like, begging them to buy the Sodor suspension bridge, because I saw it in the movie.
Oh, I still, to this day, want that bridge. That is a fucking awesome wind railing
It is a sick bridge. I remember
you have it?
I played the shit out of that thing after I first got it. That thing's amazing.
You played the shit out of it, and then
yeah.
after you played the shit out of it, there was no more shit left. There, you got all the shit out of it.
I got all the shit out of it. It was just blood farts left.
Yeah, just blarts after that. That's what I was leading up to.
Oh man, what were we talking about? Some movie, I think.
Fucking.
Okay. Anyways, I got kind of thrown off by the Flying Scotsman being so pompous, because in the Railway series, he's very caring. He's very
well. The Railway series,
considerate.
He's like, yeah, you look different, Gordon. I'll be here. He's just like hey, I'm Gordon, but not such a pompous dick.
Yes, I don't know. I just
I got this impression. I got a similar impression from him in this movie, other than he was a little more joking around. I didn't know there were any famous soda oranges. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, Flying Scotsman was really savage in this movie.
Exactly. And
all right. Anyways,
I thought what they did with Scotsman in his like 3 or 4 scenes that he actually was featured in, it was good. I just would have liked to see him in the Gordon role, because we've seen enough of Gordon. I think in my lifetime, I'm satisfied. There are enough Gordon episodes out there to
really
sustain any Thomas fan's thirst for number 4.
#thirst. All right, guys. Next complaint. This is just on to like the general like complaints, like technical complaints. Okay, the voice, was it just me, or the voices auto-tuned to hell in the songs? The voices have never been that auto-tuned, but in this special, it stuck out like a sore thumb. The voices were so auto-tuned.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
I don't remember what song. I think it was Thomas and Ashima's. And I was just listening to Thomas sing, and I was just like, holy shit, what is this?
I guarantee it's either Joe Mills or John Hassler. I know those are the 2 Thomas names. I don't know which voice actor is which, but one of them
I also
probably has like a decent voice, and they just like made it try to make it sound good. And like, okay, well, I mean, Thomas I mean, it sounds robotic, but Thomas is a machine, so it works.
Not according to Shed 17, he isn't. All right, next up, there were a lot of animation goofs in this one. I know this has been brought up a lot too.
Scene. I love the flying Henry scene.
Yeah, there's a thing at the docks where Axel's wheels aren't on the track. Like, there's just a whole...
No, his wheels aren't on the track. They're not anywhere.
Oh, okay.
He's just a shell. He's a shell of his former self.
Sort of like me. Every time we start recording this podcast,
you were never. There was never a self for you to be a shell.
I just immediately shrivel away
to like nothing but Baja Blast jokes and like, oh look, I have Perry the Platypus slippers. Isn't that nice? Ooh,
isn't that nice? Ooh. Yes. Okay. Anyways, animation goofs. Everyone's harped on that a lot. Go on Twitter to find a treasure trove of animation goofs.
It's very entertaining.
Where the fuck were the drivers in this movie? Like, okay, I'm not gonna talk about the series because I haven't watched the series. But the last movies have done well to reestablish that the drivers exist and are there. But in this one, where the fuck are they? Like, you see them in the cabs, but they just, like, don't do anything. They just, like,
this
hang
film
out.
is a very Thomas wants to do this. Thomas wants to do this. Thomas wants to do that. There's no reason for him to do this. He has to do it for the plot reasons. This movie is not full of railway accuracy, other than the fact that I'm very, very, very grateful that they had the points thing.
Yes, that was good. My favorite character in the movie is that Signal Man.
Oh yeah,
running back and forth.
That once again, much like projectile blarding, that is an Olympic sport.
Okay, I found another mistake, by the way. In that scene, when Thomas is like, fucking, I'm about to crash into a million trains, Hero is coming towards him, but later, Hero's at the Great Railway Show. So why was he, like, coming to Sodor, and then later he's at the Great Railway Show before Thomas gets there? So how the fuck
he's the master of the railway, and don't you ever forget it.
That's so close to the microphone. Okay, got it.
Master of the railway. The master, he's the master debater, and don't you ever challenge him, because he will beat you.
I'll master your railway.
Oh yes, I'll welcome your Stanley spandex any day.
I'll good your morning.
That doesn't work.
Also, I think this movie spawned a new meme, because when Thomas is shunting, Henry shouts out, "That's my boy!" or something like that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think so. I'll find it.
Yes.
I'll find it for you after the recording's over, and I'll put. Yeah, he shouts out, "That's my boy!" or something like that. It's so good.
My little Tom Tom's all grown up.
Leo boy. And then the last one is, this was the movie that, and this is like a joke complaint, by the way. This isn't a real complaint. This was the movie that drove ARC Productions to bankruptcy, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious that they spent a shit ton of money on this thing.
That's the thing that I find interesting, is that, like, you know, you can't say, oh, it'll take too much to render these models and these models and these models, but you rendered so many models for this that you will never use again.
Exactly.
Spent so much money creating these characters, and not, like, I'd say half of them got models. The only one, okay, Wooden Railway had 4, 3 of which is only available in a set. Trackmaster had 1, and Take and Play had like 5 or 6, which is good. They had like Vinnie, Ishima. They didn't have Frida. I think they had Ivan and Axel and Yongbao. They had actually Take and Play had a good.
Yeah, they had a good selection. Oh my god, I just coughed right in the microphone.
And those are like the last new Take and Play models ever to be released. So buy them. Stock up now.
Rip Take and Play. I think Engine Inspector in his new review mentioned that in The Adventure Begins, ARC didn't model Henry in his old shape, probably because they just didn't have the money to. In that case, why the fuck did they model a bunch of new engines and not model Henry in his old shape?
That I find so annoying. Most of the time, if you have why didn't they do this? Why didn't they include this character? Why didn't they render Henry like this? They always use the excuse of, it was too expensive to do this.
Well, then why the fuck model 13 new engines that we're never going to see again?
After the release of The Great Race, that excuse is completely invalid, because you know they have the budget to do everything. Or maybe this film is like a case study. It's like, fine, you want us to do this? Fine, we'll render 13 models and no one's going to use them or buy them or do anything. And it's like, see?
Showed you, Mom.
Now. showed you. This isn't a phase, Mom. God.
Is Ark still bankrupt, or did they get bought?
I think they got bought by some other startup company. I don't know.
That's good. I'm glad they did.
Someone bailed them out because I'm fairly certain they're coming back.
Good, real good. I'm glad to hear it. With that, that's the end of my complaints about the Great Race. Overall, I thought it was slightly below average, but it was still not bad.
Definitely has replay value. This is not a Sharon Miller special. This is far beyond Sharon. And again, being someone who works under the conditions of the TCC, I can tell you, Andrew Brenner and we have a lot in common with Andrew Brenner in this little instance, because you can tell that Mattel just sort of handed them a list of, okay, we want a bunch of new toys. We need a bridge jump. We need to tie in with the Olympics. Can you make a special with these? And under those ridiculously shitty restraints, he made this movie. With that given, I think he did a pretty damn good job.
I'm surprised he didn't include anything about his dinosaur fetish in this movie.
That's not his dinosaur fetish. His dinosaur fetish doesn't exist. That was the theme for the year. No one says, oh, he has a castle fetish.
Well, then what's the theme for this year?
Racing. There was a DVD called Start Your Engines, and there was a wooden railway Percy with a racing thing. There's an entire special called The Great Race. You know? Remember that? The one that we're talking about?
Fine, you win this time.
2015 was castles. 2014 was dinosaurs. 2015 was pirates. 2016 is racing. 2017 is adventures.
I guess people just remember the dinosaurs theme because there was so much merchandise, especially about the dinosaur thing.
Very true. Yes. I would agree.
Like Wooden Railway milked the shit out of the dinosaur garbage.
There was not a whole lot of pirate stuff. There was like that one pirate ship and the big set that I kind of want to buy but kind of don't want to buy because I wouldn't be able to use it outside of a layout.
No, well, when the TCC runs out of ideas, one could argue that they already have, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Well, let's not talk about the TCC, shall we?
When the TCC runs out of ideas, they'll probably make you guys remake Legend of the Lost Treasure, and then you'll have it for then.
I would not complain about that, because I know Caleb would have most of his work already done.
Oh yeah, Caleb would love that. Dude, did you see Caleb's remake of Thomas Almost Fallen into the Ocean?
I got a sneak preview of that. That was pretty dope.
Real good. Did you hear? You probably heard Nathan's recreation of the shit from this movie. I forgot what song it was, but it was good.
Yes, well, I mean, it's there's a group chat, so we get we bounce ideas. It's a collaborative effort, you understand. There's a Thomas Creator collective, Thomas Creator distraction effort. It's all creators bouncing ideas off each other. It's a very open environment. There's no put downs, only put ups. Only pull ups to fill
must resist
to absorb all of
mean joke that might get you fired. Must resist.
Do not even know.
Must
stop.
Resist.
Fire. Stop it. Stop it. Stop
Guys, thanks for watching this episode of the podcast.
Following opinions do not. The following opinions of Mr. MPS do not reflect the ideas of the entire Grease No Podcast. Your discretion is advised.
My following opinion.
Part of a complete breakfast. Ask your doctor. But side effects may include vomiting, diarrhea, mild death.
I'm a little bit disappointed that you say side effects might include blood farts. I'm disappointed that you didn't say that.
Side effects may include being disappointed but not angry.
I'm mad. I'm not.
You messed it up.
I did mess it up. No, I was thinking of, okay, I saw something, I think it was a Nostalgia Critic one time, where it was he's like, I'm not mad. But just kidding, yes I am, I'm fucking furious. But I'm also disappointed. I like saying that. It's pretty good. All right, guys, thanks for watching this episode of the podcast. I think it was pretty good.
I would recommend, once as well as Suicide Squad, Batman vs. Superman, I think this film was better in terms of, actually being a movie. Suicide Squad is a bunch of gimmicks. Batman vs. Superman was a bunch of ideas thrown together. This one is sort of a movie. There's a lot of lame merchandise and a lot of pointless characters, pointless renders, rules broken, not a whole lot of interesting things, but there's a lot of effort put in from the team that usually delivers really good stuff. The animation is the best. It's better than Legend of Lost Treasure. They get to create creatively they can do so much more. They're not just Nitrogen, who's like, oh, we're just gonna mimic the familiar style of the model series. Arc is going out of their way to show not just camera work this time. Usually it's like flying camera shots and things like that, but this year they really take advantage of the fact this is a CGI animated movie. They take full advantage that Thomas is a cartoon now. The animation is really good. There's a lot of good voice acting, not a lot of good auto tune. I don't think there's ever been any good auto tune in the history of mankind. But
Nope.
I would seriously recommend. Just Matt can say what he wants, but I personally, Vinnie Smith, will say I really liked it. It's not as good as last year's by any means. There's a lot of parts where it falls flat, but I would recommend the movie.
Legend of the Lost Treasure is a masterpiece.
There you go. What?
Legend of the Lost Treasure is a masterpiece. It's really, really good. It's the best piece of Thomas anything, in my opinion, by far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really liked it.
Really high praise from Mr. MPS.
I really like, and I don't like a lot of things.
You don't like a lot of stuff, especially CGI Thomas and Friends.
But I was surprised by how much I liked Legend of the Lost Treasure. Okay, I also saw a good tweet from TweetTime 2.0. It was from Doc Knickerbocker at RR Knickerbocker, and it said, "Imagine if after the race credits we saw an escaped Sailor John watching the engines return to Sodor from afar. That'd be so cool, dude. I mean, the same thing happened.
Into the night sky, he shines up a Sailor John logo. Do you blood fart? You will.
You will. Dude, what if... Okay, you were comparing this movie, Suicide Squad, and Batman vs. Superman. Okay, the perfect movie would be if we could get the Diesels from this movie and Vinnie, and the fight scenes from Batman v Superman, and the characters and soundtrack from Suicide Squad, and mush them all together. That'd be so sick.
That would be such... Wait.
It'd be a clusterfuck of epic proportions.
Wait. Are you telling me you just not only approved, but also endorsed a Thomas and Friends DC crossover?
No, that's not what happened. No,
yes!
That's not what happened. I didn't say that.
I finally did it, and
I didn't say that. That's not what happened.